Wednesday, Year 3 English lesson. We're going to start off with a spelling test. Please write the date and numbers 1 to 10. I'm going to say each spelling with a pause, so pause the video while you write it down and then continue on to the next spelling. At the end, I'll say the spellings again and then we'll have a chance to mark them. So number 1, gardener, gardener. Number 2, gardening, gardening. Number 3, limited, limited. Number 4, limiting, limiting. Number 5, offering, offering. Number 6, offered, offered. Number 7, benefited, benefited. Number 8, benefiting, benefiting. Number 9, focused, focused. And 10, focusing, focusing. One more time, gardener, gardening, limited, limiting, offering, offered, benefited, benefiting, focused, focusing. So now just check your spellings, and if you've got any incorrect, please write the correct spelling at the side. So pause the video here while you do that. So for today's lesson, write the date and the LO to organise writing into paragraphs. Pause the video here while you do that. And so today we're looking at paragraphs. So why do we use paragraphs? Well, we use paragraphs to help us to make sense of text, and we link common ideas together. So in this screenshot from our ebook, we can see we have 3 different paragraphs. And in this paragraph here, it's talking all about the wonderful things. In here, we're talking all about the tomb paintings, and here all about the ordinary tomb. So you can see that all the ideas are linked together that are to do with the title. So we're just going to have a look at this task here, and what we've got is 3 different paragraphs. We're going to choose a topic for our paragraph of who was Tutankhamun, how do we know about him, and what happened to him. So in these paragraphs now we're going to put the information into the right paragraphs. So Tutankhamun was a famous pharaoh, so this is going to go in the first paragraph, who he was. We know that he lived 3,000 years ago, so that again is telling us who he was. So how do we know about him? Well, we know about him because Howard Carter found his tomb, and his tomb was buried in an ordinary tomb. So we can see there that that's all the information to do with the title. And the last ones then go in as to what happened. So the artifacts give us clues about his life to tell us what happened to him. And we know that he died when he was 19. So we've put all of the information into common paragraphs talking about the same thing. So what we're going to do for our task today is we're going to have 3 different paragraphs. 1 with information on finding the tomb, 1 with information on the treasures inside, and 1 all about Tutankhamun's body. We're going to plan, and then we're going to write up the paragraphs. So we're going to decide on what information to include first of all. So here I'm going to look at the ebook on finding the tomb. So I look at the ebook on finding the tomb, and I can read all of the information here. I can see the Valley of the Kings. It was Howard Carter that found him. 1922. It was a staircase. It was hidden away. It was just an ordinary tomb. So I'm gathering all of the information, and then I'm going back to my book and I'm writing it down in bullet form. So I've got the Valley of the Kings. I've got November 22. I've got Carter's team found it. I've got that it took 5 years. It was paid for by Lord Carnarvon, and the staircase was hidden for thousands of years. So I'm taking all of the information, putting it into bullet form, and then from the bullet points, I'm then going to write it up as a paragraph in 4 sentences. So here we can see how I've taken the bullet points and written up a paragraph. So it's got a heading, finding the tomb. And Howard Carter was paid by Lord Carnarvon to search for the tomb. He'd been looking for 5 years. Eventually, Howard Carter and his team found a staircase that had been hidden for thousands of years. The tomb was found in November 1922 in a place called the Valley of the Kings. So you can see how I've taken my bullet points and put it into sentences. So your task today is we're going to bullet point the ideas first of all, and then you're going to write it up as a paragraph in your books. So we're going to look at the treasures inside. So if we go back to the ebook and we go to the treasures that are inside. So we can see, and you might want to pause the video here while you have a good look and pick out any interesting information to do with what the tomb tells us. We can see all of the different artifacts that have been found in there. Okay, so pause the video here while you take down some bullet points. Okay, so these are some of the bullet points that you could have had. So it was chaotic inside. There were paintings, a chariot, his wife, and a walking stick. There was lots of gold. There was games, and there was beautiful jewelry. Okay, you might have some other bullet points of your own. So you're going to save these bullet points for later in the lesson. So we're going to move on to the next part, and that's where we're looking at Tutankhamun's body. So once again, we're going to go back to the ebook, and we're going to pause it on this video here, and we're going to find some information from the paragraphs here. Okay, so when you've wrote down some of your bullet points, I'm just going to open up some of these and see if there's anything else here that you might want to write down. So that might be a bullet point there to add that in 68 is when his body was x-rayed. And here we have some good evidence here of what happened to his body. We've got the spine being bent there. We might want to question why that is, because he was so young. There was damage to the skull, so it could have been caused by a blow to the head. So we could think about it whether that was what killed him, or did it happen during mummification, or did Howard Carter and his team drop the body? And then the last one, the ribs were missing. Again, was he born like that, or did he have an accident? So you're gathering all your bullet points up, and this is what you may have down. So x-rayed in 68, mummified means that the body is going to be well preserved. We've got missing ribs, so it could be an accident or killed. We've got skull damage, hit or dropped, and we've got the spine that was bent, which was an illness or an accident. So you've got bullet points for that paragraph there too. So what you're going to do now is you're going to write up those bullet points into paragraphs. So you're going to write the title, The Treasures Inside, and then you're going to look back at your bullet points here and write them up into sentences to make a paragraph. And for your next paragraph, Tutankhamun's body, again, go back to your bullet points for Tutankhamun's body, and once again, write them up into a paragraph using full sentences. So once you've done that, take a photograph of your work, make sure that it's clear, and email it to my email. And thank you for today.